Hi, I'm still super nervous about making longer videos. Shorter form content is kind of where my comfort zone is, but it feels really good to talk about this stuff because I am absolutely obsessing over moving my family to Bali. And I think about it nonstop, 24/7. So I don't want to bug anybody in my day-to-day life. That's like my biggest fear is being annoying about this stuff because in my head, it just doesn't stop. It's constant thinking and planning and what ifs and if thens. And so it feels really good to like have a space where I can talk about this and not be just constantly like blabbing on and on to the people in my life who also have their own things going on. Um, and at first I felt weird about it, like, oh, I'm kind of putting it out there and like getting in everybody's face with it. But then I was like, no one has to watch this. I'm not like sending it to people like, you need to watch this and then tell me what you think. Like, I'm not even telling anyone in my life that I'm making YouTube videos. Um, so I feel like I don't want to bother people, but also I do want to put it out into the universe that this is a plan that I have and I want to talk about it and I want to celebrate it and I want to let the universe know that like this is not just within me. This is something that I am planning to put out into the world. I'm planning to make it a reality. So I just have to keep in mind that like I'm not forcing anyone to watch these videos and it's okay for me to do this. So one of the things that I've been kind of planning and plotting, and maybe it's part of me feels like it's too early to be planning this stuff. Like you're going to burn yourself out. You're going to take away from the excitement when the time actually comes closer. Like you're thinking of this too far out. But I'm really not, I don't think, because we're planning to leave at the beginning of October or like end of September, arrive beginning of October. So I feel like it's not too soon to start planning and it's okay to get excited about things, especially big things like this. So I really need to silence that voice in my head that's like, stop, don't be excited, don't let yourself get excited, don't feel the positive emotions, only the negative ones. That's crazy. So one of the things I've been thinking about is flights, and not just like which flights we'll take or paying for flights or booking the flights. I'm thinking of like how to pack for the kids for the flights. Because if each of us gets a carry-on and a checked bag, that's 4 of us that would have checked bags and carry-ons, plus a personal item. And if we're going to Bali for 3 months to kind of soft launch a move there and see what that would look like for us and see how the kids do with it, then I'm like, what do we bring? Obviously, they need clothes. How many clothes do they need? What are the laundry services going to be like? I mean, I know there's a couple places like villas with laundry in them, not many though, and not any of my favorites. So like, how many pairs of pajamas for the kids? Maybe 1 pair of long pants each, just in case, 1 sweatshirt each, and the rest can be like summer clothes. I'm also thinking, okay, so on the plane, and they're fairly young kids, they're 8, 4, and 2. So on the plane, if they each have a little backpack to carry, that stuff is going to have like their snacks, their toys to keep them occupied on the plane. It's not going to have anything super crucial. That's all going to go in the checked bags. So should they just get that little backpack each and maybe not even bother with like stowed carry-ons for them? Because that's just something else that at each flight we'd have to worry about getting out and taking with us. And then my 2-year-old, I don't think is going to be pulling along a little luggage piece. So I would have to be carrying that. So I think maybe we could do 1 extra carry-on, like just the personal bags for all of them with their snacks and toys to keep them occupied on the plane. My personal bag, and then my carry-on, which will have maybe like a change of clothes for all of us just in case, my cameras, stuff like that. And then maybe 1 more carry-on for all of us with just maybe another change of clothes. I guess I'd have to think more fully on that. But then for our checked luggage, I think that's where we would put kind of like, the bulk of clothes, homeschooling stuff, because I'm going to have to homeschool my 8-year-old, and my 4-year-old was supposed to start preschool this coming year. So he's also going to be starting with like some sort of homeschooling preschool program, which is a little bit easier, but still we're going to have some like homeschooling materials in there, books, maybe some dry erase boards, workbooks, pens, paper, pencils, crayons for my 2-year-old, because also she needs to learn how to hold a crayon. Toys, general toys, stuffies. The stuffy situation is dire because my 4-year-old loves stuffies, and he has a whole troop. I don't even know who there is anymore. There used to be Buddy, Blanky, Tiggy, and then we also introduced, there's like Dragonfly, there's an actual little dragon, there's Bun Bun, there's Kitty Cat, there's a big hard jewel thing that he really likes and is carrying around. So I'm like, we are going to have to really cut down on the stuffies, like which ones are important enough to bring with us for 3 months, because we cannot fit all these stuffies. So packing stuffies, it's definitely going to be 2 full checked bags, possibly 3, honestly, because once we get to the final airport in Denpasar, we can load it up onto like a luggage rack and just get it out to the grab or go jack, and then I don't have to worry about it. So I might take advantage of all the checked bags. It might end up coming to that. Layovers, I'm also super nervous about, because I want a solid length of a layover, because being 4 of us, and 3 of us are tiny humans, I'm thinking we're probably just going to wait on the plane to be like one of the last to disembark every time, because it's just going to be easier, especially if we do have some stowed carry-ons. So I would like some extra time to just like gather them all up, gather our stuff up, make our way through the airport, make sure we're not rushing to catch a flight. But then also, 5+ hour layovers, you've got 3 young kids at an airport, and it's kind of like, oh God, what do we do? So those are things I'm thinking of for the flight. And then there's like extra stuff, like extras that I'll bring. A lot of the villas that I'm looking at and really like don't have TVs. And obviously, if we're going on vacation to Bali, we don't need a TV. But this isn't vacation. This is like getting my kids into what regular life in Bali would be like. We're trying to see how they would adjust to living in Bali, because that is the end goal, is moving our family to Bali. So this isn't a vacation. It's seeing how the kids adjust to day-to-day life. So not having a TV, I think, in a lot of places is going to be a little bit of a hindrance, especially when they're dysregulated, the jet lag is sinking in, they're homesick, they're missing their dad, they're missing their big brother. Those are moments when, it's going to come in handy. So I was thinking of bringing a little phone projector and just being able to project something onto the wall. And then that way it's not like a, easy fallback, like just go watch some TV. It's something special, something we plan, a little piece of home. And I really like that idea. I'm pretty happy about that. Strollers, Bali is not super walkable, really, a lot of parts, especially with little kids. So a lot of people will put their kids on scooters. You'll see people with like 3 or 4 kids on a scooter but I cannot drive a scooter. Maybe I can. I haven't tried yet, but I definitely don't have my international driver's license regardless. So it's a moot point. And I don't know how it would really work putting my kids on a scooter if we got like a Grab. So I'm kind of like, should I bring a stroller? Should I bring a double stroller for the 4-year-old and the 2-year-old? We do have one. I think that could count as like a checked luggage, but it's really big and bulky. It might be worth it. And then I was thinking maybe also like a toddler carrier. My 2-year-old, she could still get in one on my back. It might be easier for some things to like carry her around on my back, especially landing right at the airport. That's my big, because everyone's going to be so tired when we land at the airport. Being able to strap her to my back, grab all her luggage, and be like, let's just go, let's get a car, let's get out of here, would be incredible. So a lot of the places I'm looking at for us to stay, I'm thinking of staying like 1 month one place, and then month 2 in another place. And then when my husband and stepson join us for their 2 weeks, we'd probably stay in that second place so we can kind of like have a home base, like, oh, we've gotten to know this area, show them around. And what I'm tentatively thinking right now is maybe first stay in Ubud and for the first month, and then for the second month maybe someplace closer to like a calmer beach, so not like Canggu, but just somewhere maybe where the kids can kind of paddle around, play, and then we have access to that beach, which also invites the whole and I do want to get a villa with a pool because, you know, it's again another thing to kind of regulate them and like maybe make that first month a little easier. So like pool floaties, you know, life jackets, like are those things I buy there? Are those things I bring? I'm not really sure. I definitely want to do some swim lessons for them. They've taken them before, but like I think having daily access to a pool is really going to increase their abilities. So stroller versus baby wearing, I'm kind of up in the air on that. If anyone has any suggestions, I am all ears. But I'm kind of leaning towards just a baby wearer for her right now, and the 4-year-old and 8-year-old can just walk with me. And then we'll see how it goes with scooters and renting them and having kids once we're there. Food for right away. My kids are super picky eaters. They didn't used to be. I don't know what happened, but suddenly my 8-year-old eats almost exclusively peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. The 4-year-old is a little bit better. He'll try other stuff, and he's very into like burgers and ribs. He's a meat eater. So I think he'll do okay. And the 2-year-old is still super adventurous. So she'll try anything. She'll eat whatever. Not worried about her. But do I bring peanut butter? Because I can't really bring bread, right? That'd be super weird to like throw a loaf of bread in my, that's going to arrive just crazy. That would be nuts. So I'm kind of like, what kind of snacks should I bring? What little tastes of home? What things, again, once we get to the villa that first day, what things do I want to have on hand that are going to make this super smooth and easy for all of us? Because it's going to be a rough transition, I think. The first week is probably going to be pretty intense with jet lag and all the changes. And so I've been thinking about that. And then, yeah, like pool floaties, life jackets. Do I bring that stuff? Do I just buy it there? Do I want to waste that space in my suitcase? You know. And then villas themselves. Like, so obviously I want a place with a pool, but I don't want a place where both bedrooms open up to it because I'm thinking, I've been looking at 2 bedrooms. There's a few 3, but most of the places I'm looking at and the places I really love are 2 bedrooms. And so I was thinking myself and my 2-year-old could share a bed. And then my 4-year-old and 8-year-old could share a bed because they always treat it like it's a slumber party when they do that. They love it. But I don't want necessarily their room to open up to the pool. I know my 8-year-old would be very good about that and listening like, you are never ever to go to the pool, you know, without me there. And I'm a super light sleeper when it comes to the kids. If I think I hear them sneeze in the other room, I'm like, but still, it's just one of those safety things. I would love for both bedrooms to not just open right up to the pool. And some places do. So, and then, yeah, we want to move around. Where do we start? Do we start in Ubud or do we start at the beach? Do we stay at the beach? Because it would be really nice to be able to take the kids to the beach pretty often. But would that be too much? I like the idea of starting in Ubud because it's just very like nature oriented. It's pretty good for families. I've been seeing a lot of like expats and tourist families who are there long haul staying there. And that's where we stayed when we went for the women's retreat. We took all the women to a villa in Ubud, loved it. It was beautiful, very tranquil and peaceful, had great vibes. And I think my kids would really like it. So I'm just kind of playing around with where do we go? Where do we stay right now? And that's kind of fun. It's really fun to be looking at villas. And I have a big list right now of like villas I like for month 1, villas I like for month 2, villas that we could go either way on. And it's been kind of fun, like seeing them get, I mean, not super fun, but like seeing which ones are like, oh, not available for those dates anymore. Because it's like, I just trust that the universe is going to help guide us. Like this feels very correct and like the right decision for our family. So that the universe is going to provide with the correct place for us. I just trust it. So it's kind of fun seeing like which place is it going to be. I want someplace with walkability, obviously, but I don't want it too touristy because, again, I want my kids to see what life for us would be like there. So something maybe a little bit removed from like big tourist hubs would be ideal. And when I say walkability, I don't mean like we need a ton of shops or something super close by, but like a few warungs, like the local eateries, places to take the kids and grab authentic Indonesian food, because I do think my 2-year-old and 4-year-old for sure will enjoy it. And I believe my 8-year-old could also come around on it. I think this would be a great opportunity for her to kind of expand her palette, her worldview, her sense of self and identity and independence, which she's already an extremely outspoken, independent girl. She knows what she likes and she knows what she doesn't. And I think she'll do really well. So I just want, like a place we can go walk to for coffee or a bite in the morning, and some place that they could get excited about for lunches. And then getting around, scooters versus cars versus walking. And what kind of like cultural day trip should we do? I would love to do like one, Bali-esque outing a week, so they don't get overwhelmed and it's not too much, but that they are seeing Bali and learning about it, and learning about the culture and the history and the traditions and the people who live there. So these are all things I'm thinking about constantly, nonstop, and it's so fun and I love it. And I don't want to bug people in my real life, so I just don't bring it up, or I haven't been as much as, like I said, it's going on in my head. I'm pretty quiet in real life, and it's nice to be able to say all this stuff out loud and let the universe hear it, because I'm really serious about this. I want us to experience this. I want good things for us. I want exciting things for us. I want adventure for my kids. And I like doing things big. So stay tuned as we try to move a family of 6 to Bali. Step 1, I'm going to take the 3 youngest there, and I have another video up kind of explaining why we're doing it that way. Have a great day.